Bhakti Sastri. Hare Krishna. Welcome, devotees. So, before I start today's class, I just want to show the student handbook. So, in your student handbook, Nectar of Devotion, uh, it is starting with the term Unit 4. Although we are covering it in Unit 5, because it is easier to understand after we understand Nectar of Instruction. So, these are the topics. Overview of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and definition of pure devotional service. So we covered that. 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. Sadhana Bhakti. Independent nature of pure devotional service. That is, pure devotional service is not dependent on karma or jnana. How to discharge devotional service. Devotional principles. Aspects of transcendental service. So we have covered till here, covering the 64 limbs of devotional service. And yesterday we discussed about the offenses which should be avoided in the service of the Lord. Today we are going to discuss on Raganuga Bhakti and love of God. So when you go through, see there are some notes given from here. Overview of Nectar of Devotion. So you can read these notes. This will help you to understand many terms, because unlike other books, Nectar of Devotion has so many different Sanskrit terms which may be new for you. So you can go through these notes, and these additional notes and charts are also very nice. So many important things are given in a very practical display, like Tatastha Lakshan, Sarup Lakshan. These are the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service that we discussed. Material distresses, 3 causes, then auspiciousness, 4 symptoms of auspiciousness. Everything is given in very nice systematic matter. Then 4 kinds of effects of sinful activities. Namarasita Mataji was asking. Is papam, kutam, bijam, phalonmukham. 4. They are given here. Papam, kutam, bijam, phalonmukham. So these are here. Then 64 items of sadhan bhakti. They are given in very small font. So I have already shared one separate document to you. So you can find them nicely there, because here the font is very small. You can zoom it in also, but I have shared a separate document for these 64 items on the group. Then today we will discuss these characteristics of bhav, this ashta vikar. So we will discuss this also. Then how to achieve prema, 2 types of prema, and that is the end of the course. So we only covered till 19 chapters. So this is the end of the 19 chapters. Then the questions you will be asked will be from this closed book assessment, just like previous units. So you just need to prepare these questions. So there is a heading like preface. From preface, there are 5 questions. Introduction, there are 4 questions. Like that, chapter wise, there are questions. So it's easy to find that way, and you can easily find these answers from the book. So total there are 54 questions, and if you remember these 54 questions, that will be enough for the exam. And plus these analogies. So these analogies are also there, the examples, these 1.5 pages of analogies. Regarding the shlokas, although this book doesn't have any shloka, but still Prabhupada used to quote from the Sanskrit version of Nectar of Devotion in his lectures. So these 4 shlokas we have kept, and these 4 shlokas are the only expected verses to be learned. So you only have to learn these 4 verses in this unit. So that's all. And open book assignment you have already been given which one to do. So And this will be for your final Unit 5 exam. Plus, whatever you have studied in the past, that will be asked 20%, and 80% will be from Unit 5. The exam duration will be 1 hour. So you will be expected that in 1 hour you can complete the exam. And there will be mostly like objective type questions, but there will be some subjective, like fill in the blanks, like one word or short one-liner answers. So there will not be essay type questions, but there may be one-liners or one word, fill in the blanks, this type of questions. So that is one thing. Now, regarding those devotees who have missed previous CBA exam, Sundar Nitai Prabhu has fixed a date. You can be in touch with him and please cover your exam. So those who want their certificates this year, please complete your exam in time. Those who are not in rush, take your time next year, but generally it doesn't happen. If you postpone it for next year, then you may forget whatever you have learned and it will take extra time. So it's better to give this year itself and complete it in time. Namrasita Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanvatnams. Prabhu, I have multiple questions today.
Yes.
Firstly, Prabhu, what you call multiple choice we'll get, no? Like online, or we have to fill the blanks.
See, it will be offline paper. It is not online paper. Final exam is offline paper. So all Mauritian devotees, they have a venue. All Gurgaon devotees, they will be going to Giriraj Prabhu's place. And all other devotees like Keshav Priya Mataji or Arun Charan Prabhu, I already spoke today. They will be having separate arrangements with us. So we'll arrange their exams separately. They will be coming to Ujjain after some time. So now the exam will be pen and paper exam. Multiple choice question, you have to simply tick the right answer. Fill in the blanks, there will be space to write the answer. And if there is one-liners, there will be some lines left for you to write one-liners. There may be true, false, or there may be some match the following. So there will be simple, like there will not be essay type question in short, but these answers will be very short and to the point. So we don't write whole Ramayana there. We only write to the point answers, and that is the purpose of the exam. Maximum time it will take 1 hour. It will not take more than 1 hour. Okay. I remember
Prabhu,
when our batch was doing Bhakti Sastri, our batch used to give exam hardly in 5 to 10 minutes. So it's not very difficult exam, but a maximum time 1 hour will be there, and it's more than enough for completing that exam. Okay.
Prabhu, I wanted to, these questions are correct or not, answers. What does the comparison between mystic perfections and modern scientific improvements indicate? That they have no hope of being liberated from this catastrophe. Is this the correct answer?
So now it will be difficult because I have to check. So what you can do, you can send me whoever has doubts regarding their CBA answers. Don't send me everything, but the particular questions wherever you have doubt, you can send me the screenshot or a photo of it. Then I can recheck and I can get back to you. Hmm? So that can
Okay.
be done. But don't send me the whole thing that Prabhu, can you check all 54 answers?
No, no, no,
So
no.
don't do that.
I have few questions only.
Yes.
Uh,
So
and,
I can check individually. Yeah.
so, Prabhu, maybe you know the three sources of happiness according to Srila Rupa Goswami, from material happiness, from Brahman
So
realization.
yeah, so it is Jadananda, it is Brahmananda and Premananda. Jadananda is happiness in material realm. Brahmananda is happiness in Brahma Jyoti. And Premananda is happiness in the spiritual world in love of Godhead.
Okay. And
So
Prabhu,
Prabhupada, you see, Prabhupada didn't use these Sanskrit terms in the book. Prabhupada only used English. So he translated everything basically in English in this book. So you will find all these terms, even whatever we discuss in PPT, nothing, no Sanskrit is there in the book. Prabhupada only used English terms. So even if you write just English terms, that is perfect,
Okay.
no problem.
हाँ, ठीक है.
Yeah.
And Prabhu, what is the benefit of feeding one who preaches the message of the Bhagavad Gita? What is the benefit of feeding one who preaches the message of
That is given in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that he becomes very dear to Krishna. Krishna says
Krishna?
he's the
हाँ,
most dear. So we can
okay.
tell that.
हाँ, I was thinking same. Okay, ठीक है. Can I ask one more to
Yeah.
without being elevated, to what position can one stick to the principle of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Without being elevated, to what position can one stick to the principle of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
So which
To what
chapter is
one?
that?
Chapter 3.
It can be in the position. I have to check. Actually, see, all these answers are contextual. I have to check the exact answers. So therefore, I'm
Okay.
saying you can send me the screenshot. I can check in the book, and then I can tell you.
Okay. One last
because
question, maybe.
because you see now it can be in the mode of pure goodness. Like today's class, we will see Prabhupada is quoting one time mode of pure goodness. Now it can be the situation of free of anarthas. That can be one stage of nishtha. So see, in many contexts, because the whole book Prabhupada translated in English, you know, so the terms becomes contextual. So you once you send me, I can check in the book and I can get back. Okay.
What is the crucial point for advancement in spiritual life? For the
Same, actually, that's what I'm saying. Now,
okay,
crucial point can be
okay, okay,
Vaishnava Aparad, it can be Seva Aparad, it can be, not following 482 principles, it can be not chanting 16 rounds, it can be many things. But I'm saying, like, when we refer to the chapter and we see the
okay.
context, then we can get the
ठीक है.
answer.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's
And
like,
Prabhu,
you ask like how to advance in a spiritual life. Now, it can be anything. You advance by serving, you advance by chanting, you advance by worshiping the deities. But when you have a test paper, it is based on some syllabus. So you have to see the particular chapter, what
hmm,
Prabhupada wrote there.
hmm,
And that's what will be the answer. So
okay.
I will have to check all these answers. You can send me, and I can check in the book and get the exact thing. Okay.
And Prabhu, one last thing. One, I just wanted to request you. Suppose if we are not able to finish our class today, the whole course, can you take it on Monday? Because then we just have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to revise the whole course. And Friday, Saturday again in evenings we have classes. Whole day we are busy in this and that. And evenings we get to revise or we learn
See,
or
the thing
whatever.
is, the devotees in Mauritius, they've already booked the place for exam on 13th of August. So we can't postpone it to next week because they already booked the hall, proper examination hall, and they paid for it. So we can't extend it. But yes, we can
Okay.
have an extra class on Monday, and it will
Yes.
be like a spontaneous Raganuga class because you will not get any marks out of it. But if you have any doubts, you can still ask that
Yes,
time.
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu.
Any other devotee has anything to ask? Okay, so let's start today. Today, the class will be more technical because we are going to deal with the highest subject matter of the course, the Bhav Bhakti and Prem Bhakti. So both are very high elevated topics. So many of the terms will be new. So please take notes properly, and that will help you to understand the subject matter. So we'll go into, after we discussing sadhana bhakti, which we were discussing all this while, like practicing the principles, 64 principles given by Rupa Goswami. We also saw different references from the scriptures. So Rupa Goswami has given like hundreds of references from Puranas, from Vedas, from Upanishads. about the importance of the 64 principles. And he says that you don't need to practice anything else if you practice the 64 principles. So that are covered into Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. You remember there are two types of uh, sadhana bhakti. One is Vedi Bhakti, one is Raganuga Bhakti. So we already covered the Vedi sadhana bhakti. Now we are going into Raganuga sadhana bhakti. So before understanding Raganuga, we understand what is Ragatmika. See, Raga means love. Raga means spontaneous attraction. And when somebody is completely absorbed in it, that is called Atmika. Atmika, Atma means self. Atmika means when you completely absorb yourself. That is Atmika. So when some devotee is completely absorbed in love for Krishna, that is called Ragatmika. So Raga means intense attachment or love. Atmika means very essence, himself. He attaches himself with Krishna through love. That is called Ragatmika. Now, this stage is really, really very advanced. Actually, this is possessed by Nitya Siddha devotees. You can write this term, Nitya Siddha. There are three types of devotees. One is Nitya Siddha. Nitya means eternal. Siddha means perfect. So they are eternally perfect. Like you can see Mother Yashoda with Krishna here. Mother Yashoda is eternally associate of the Lord. Like Balaram. Balaram is of course Lord himself. But there is like Nanda Maharaj, like Madhumangal, Sridham, all these Gopas, Gopis, Lalita, Vishakha, they are all eternal associates of Lord, Nitya Siddha. And they have this Ragatmika Bhakti. Ragatmika means intense love, and they identify them the very self with that love. So when devotional service is executed with such feelings of spontaneous love, that is called Ragatmika Bhakti. So this Ragatmika Bhakti is very, very rare. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Ragatmika Bhakti Mukhya Brajavasi Jane. Where it is found, this Ragatmika Bhakti, where the intense love for Krishna is found, and person just identifies himself with that love. There is no understanding of anything external. That is Ragatmika. The original inhabitants of Vrindavan are attached to Krishna spontaneously in devotional service. Nothing can compare to such spontaneous devotional service, which is called Ragatmika Bhakti. But the problem is, living entities who are not Nitya Siddhas, now what is their hope? So there are two other types of devotees. I was mentioning there are three types of devotees. First, you already wrote Nitya Siddha. There is second is Sadhana Siddha. Sadhana Siddha. Sadhana Siddha means one who become perfect by sadhana, by practice of devotional service. And third is Kripa Siddha. Kripa Siddha means he may not have practiced much rules and regulations, but he must have received causeless mercy of Krishna. And that's how he get pure love of God. That is Kripa Siddha. Like Jagai and Madhai, you must have heard the pastime from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This Jagai and Madhai hit Nityananda Prabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to kill both Jagai and Madhai. So Nityananda Prabhu saved them. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, on request of Nityananda Prabhu, embraced Jagai and Madhai, they got pure love of God. So they didn't do any sadhana, but just by mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, they got love of God. So they are Kripa Siddha. Now this Kripa Siddha and Sadhana Siddha, they get Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti is especially given to those who are not Nitya Siddhas. What is the meaning of Raganuga? Tar anugat bhaktir raganuga name. See, Ragatmika and Raganuga. We will discuss this. When a devotee follows in the footsteps of devotees of Vrindavan, his devotional service is called Raganuga. See, Raga means love and Anuga means following. So now I may not have love, but I'm following a Ragatmika Bhakta, that is Raganuga. I'm following somebody who has love. I am the follower of Brajvasis, that is Raganuga. So you're revising that. Ragatmika Bhakti means those who have spontaneous love for Krishna. They are Nitya Siddhas, eternal associates of the Lord. Ragatmika Bhakta. And Raganuga Bhakta means what? Following Ragatmika Bhaktas is Raganuga Bhakta. So we become followers of Raganuga Bhaktas, Ragatmika Bhaktas. So by practice of sadhana, by following the instructions of the spiritual master, what happens is we start following the pure devotees who have love for Krishna. And that's how the devotion become intense and it reached to the level of Raganuga Bhakti. Now, Srila Prabhupada gave us this facility to practice the regulative principles, chanting of the 16 rounds, serving in the temple, serving the spiritual master. Actually, it can take us to Raganuga Bhakti. Because we are following Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the best Ragatmika Bhakta, who has the spontaneous love for Krishna. So when we follow him, actually we are following Raganuga Bhakti. So this is the speciality of Raganuga Bhakti. Now, this Ragatmika Bhakti is of two types. All the Sanskrit terms are not in the book. So even if you can't remember the Sanskrit terms, at least remember the English terms. Okay? Prabhupada wrote all English terms there. So there are two types of Ragatmika Bhakti. One is Kamarupa, sensual attraction or conjugal love. This is the highest level of Ragatmika Bhakti. In general terms, we call it Madhurya Ras. Madhurya Ras. This is the highest level of Ragatmika Bhakti. And the second level is Sambandhan Rupa. That is relationship with Krishna. Parent, friend, servant. Vatsalya, Sakhya, Dasya. Now somebody may say that why the above one is not Sambandha? Because you can't call gopis and Krishna what relationship they have. Actually, it is out of any social custom. They are not married. They are not, same family. So it's just, they are just lovers. Therefore, the category is Kamarupa. Now, the word Kamarupa is, Kama means lusty desire and Rupa means like. It looks like lusty desire. It looks like the mundane love. But actually, it is not mundane love. It is called Adi Rasa, the highest Rasa. See, in Bhagavad Gita, we have seen how this material world is the perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Urdha Mula Madho Shakha, 15th chapter, we have seen how this reflection of the tree, and this tree in material world, roots are upwards and leaves are downwards. It's upside down because it's reflection of the spiritual world. Now imagine whatever is the highest in the spiritual world becomes lowest in the material world. So in material world, if somebody has a relationship outside marriage, that is considered to be very abominable. But in spiritual world, that becomes the highest rasa, Adi Rasa. So that is conjugal love between Krishna and the gopis. Highest Ragatmika love. Moksharupi Prabhu, can you read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanapanaths. The gopis' ecstatic love for Krishna is sometimes described as follows as being like the lusty desire of the material world, but actually they should not be taken as a literal fact. It is simply a way of trying to understand the transcendental situation. NOD
So
page.
it's like, a mother is trying to show moon to the child. Now sometimes child cannot see the moon. So mother say, "Oh, can you see that tree? Yes, yes. Can you see the branches of the tree? Yes, yes. Now between the branches, can you see that white object, round object? Yes, yes. That is moon." So then child understand, yes, yes, that is moon. But actually moon has nothing to do with the tree. Tree is very near and moon is very far. But this is called Shakha Chandra Nyaya, where taking help of something which is very familiar to us, a subject matter is explained which is not familiar to us. In the same way, although the name is used Kama Rupa, is like lusty desires, like lusty relationship, but actually that is not the literal meaning of it. Actually, relationship between gopis and Krishna is above all lust. In fact, Sukhdev Goswami tells in 31st chapter and 30th chapter of um, Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, that one who reads this pastimes of Krishna and with the gopis, he can get rid of all his lusty desires. So all great sages, Sukhdev Goswami, who's renunciate, Vyasdev, all they are studying this relationship between gopis and Krishna, which is above all material lust. But the name is used so that we understand it better in our conditioning stage. Now, second is Sambandhan Rupa, which is out of other relations, like Krishna's friends, like Krishna's parents, like Krishna's servants, even Krishna's wives. They fall in Sambandhana Rupa. They don't fall into the first category. It's only reserved for the gopis. All residents of Dwarka, all residents of Mathura, all residents of Vrindavan in Sakyaras, Dasyaras, and Vatsalyaras, they all fall into this Sambandhanurupa Ragatmika Bhakti. So these two types of Ragatmika Bhakti is found in the spiritual world. If you want to understand in simple terms, one is Madhurya Ras, which is the highest, and second category is Dasya, Vatsalya, Sakya. These three other rases. Keshav Priya Mataji, can you read this?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The attraction of the gopis for Krishna and the affection of the members of the Yadu dynasty are both accepted as spontaneous or raganuga. Again, he analyzes the affection of the Yadus. If it is on the platform of friendship, then it is spontaneous love. But if it is on the platform of regulative principles, then it is not.
So there can be dealings can be same, but if somebody is just respecting or worshipping Lord out of the regulative principles, that is then Vedi sadhana bhakti. And if somebody is doing out of spontaneous love, the same principles become Raganuga bhakti. It's not that devotee stops practicing the principles. Like we are chanting. We may be chanting because we have taken vows in front of the spiritual master. But some Raganuga Bhakta may be chanting because of out of love for Krishna. Chanting will be there, but feelings will change. Like somebody is attending Mangala Arati just because the spiritual master told to rise up early in the morning and attend Mangala Arati. But someone who has love, he will naturally go and attend Mangala Arati. So principles will be same, but the feelings will change. Therefore, we studied this Raganuga Bhakti and Sadhana Bhakti. So Sadhana Bhakti has two types. One is Vedi Sadhana Bhakti, one is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So all this while till yesterday, we only discussed about Vedi Sadhana Bhakti, where rules and regulations are practiced, offenses are avoided consciously. Although we may not have that feelings, but we consciously try to avoid offenses and practice the principles given in the scriptures, especially recommended by the spiritual master. But Raganuga Bhakti is following the instructions of a spiritual master with love, following the instructions of scriptures with love. So now the spontaneously devotee is inspired to practice the principles of bhakti. Chetan Prabhu, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. There is a stage called Anartha Nivritti, which means the disappearance of all material contamination. When one is actually spontaneously attracted to the loving principles of the gopis, there will be found no trace of any mundane contamination.
So somebody may ask how I can check myself that I am in Vedi sadhana bhakti or I am in Raganuga sadhana bhakti, because externally the activities are same. So Rupa Goswami is saying that on the level of spontaneous Raganuga bhakti, there is no anarthas, there is no material contamination. So you will not feel lusty, you will not feel angry, you will not feel envious. So person is completely free of all malice, all anarthas in heart. That is the symptom of spontaneous attraction to Krishna. Before being completely pure at heart, nobody can be spontaneously attracted to Krishna. So till then, devotee forces himself to practice the principles of bhakti. But once the heart is cleansed, then naturally he is attracted to serve Krishna. Sudevi Mataji, can you read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It is said by Sri Rupa Goswami, when one is actually liberated from material contamination, sorry, he can always remember an eternal devotee in Vrindavan in order to love Krishna in the same capacity. And developing such an aptitude, one will always live in Vrindavan, even within his mind.
So when one is completely free from all vices, all anarthas in heart, then he can actually follow a resident of Vrindavan. Like our Goswamis were Manjaris, as we discussed before. Many of our acharyas, like Sarup Damodar Goswami, Ramanand Rai, they were gopis. So all these acharyas were following the footsteps, the mood of the residents of Vrindavan. But that stage is quite high. Until one is not completely free from the anarthas, one can't imitate this level. Yes, Varat Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, okay, we're talking in the spiritual world here. What about the material world, and where you find people, at least, I mean, now that we are reading and I'm trying to understand this spontaneous love, that to me, my understanding, obviously I'm not perfect, so I can't say, but still, I make, observation whereby today only I was reflecting on a devotee in Mauritius. It's a lady, married with children, etc., then grown-up children. But today I was thinking, just if I can remember this lady, what will happen, because she's really enthusiastic, always, you can say there is always a smile on her face, and doing with so much of enthusiasm service, of Krishna. So what happened? Can that also happen, that, thinking about these kind of people,
So
at the time
now,
of death?
No. So now we'll go back to the definition of Raganuga, because see, Raganuga means to follow Ragatmika devotees. And Ragatmika devotees are eternal associates of the Lord. They never fall. They never drift from their path. Now, we can take inspiration from devotees around us, that is for sure. But still, there is tendency in conditional souls to drift away. So in case in future, if that devotee drift away, then our progress will not be same. If we remember them at the time of death, maybe we will end up into next life, in the same situation. So Raganuga devotees are very particular to follow only Ragatmika devotees who are eternally serving Krishna in pure love. There's no chance for them to fall down into material clutches. So that is the basic definition of Raganuga. So yes, we can take inspiration from devotees around us. We can surely, understand that how much love they have for the Parampara or Srila Prabhupada, but that will not be considered as Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti means when we follow the mood of Ragatmika devotees. And that is the basic bottom line principle, because they never fall down. And that is the main principle behind it.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for this clear clarification.
Amal Arjun Prabhu, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Raganuga sadhana bhakti. But when he realizes his actual position in relationship with the Lord, he can, along with the discharging of regulative service, think with himself of the Lord under the guidance of a particular associate of the Lord and develop his transcendental sentiments in following that associate.
So when one is completely pure at heart, he starts to follow a Ragatmika Bhakta from the spiritual world. Slowly, his transcendental nature gets revealed. So he starts to discharge his regulative service under the guidance of the eternal associates of Lord. And it happened. Like Narottam Das Thakur, when he reached Vrindavan, and he was practicing Krishna consciousness under Loknath Goswami, who is again an eternal associate of Lord. He was given a service to boil milk for Srimati Radharani every day. Not in reality, in meditation. So in meditation, Narottam would every day boil milk and offer to Srimati Radharani. So all these are revealed in the very, very advanced stage of devotional service. We can't imitate them. But by practice of sadhana bhakti, when heart becomes completely pure, then these special stage of Raganuga sadhana bhakti comes. But the special quality of such devotee is he doesn't display his symptoms of Raganuga bhakti. Generally, these Raganuga bhaktas, they display their sadhak rupena, their identity as a normal sadhak, normal devotee. But if you see them, if you really understand them, then they may be perfected devotees. So it may be same, you may be chanting next to them, but they will never display that they are at that level of Raganuga bhakta. Therefore, many times people say that, oh, in ISKCON we don't see Raganuga bhaktas. But actually that is not true. Because Rupa Goswami himself tells that Raganuga bhakta will never display symptoms as Raganuga bhakta. They will not boast around that, oh, I practice such and such devotee in a spiritual world. They will never do that. And those who are speaking it openly, actually they are not at level of Raganuga bhakta. Because Raganuga bhakta will never reveal this. Here is a photo of Rupa Goswami. Now, in his all teachings, Rupa Goswami is writing such basic principles. You have read it. Wash your teeth, wash your leg, which situations you cannot go to temple and which situation you can go to temple, things like that. But he himself was in such an elevated stage of devotional service. You can see this picture where Rupa Goswami is writing, and this day, Rupa Goswami invited Sanatan Goswami for taking prasad with him. Now, they both were renunciates living under different trees every day, where they will get ingredients to cook. So Rupa Goswami invited Sanatan Goswami for prasad, but he was not having any prasad. In the meanwhile, one girl came. You can see the picture of a girl. She came and she gave all ingredients to Rupa Goswami to cook sweet rice. She gave milk, she gave sugar, she gave rice, everything. Rupa Goswami cooked sweet rice. And then later, when Sanatan Goswami came, he offered him. Sanatan Goswami was surprised how he got all these ingredients. And when Sanatan Goswami tasted that, Sanatan Goswami understood this is not an ordinary sweet rice. This is given by Srimati Radharani. Just by tasting, Sanatana Goswami understood. Sanatana Goswami asked Rupa Goswami, how did you get all these ingredients? And he mentioned that one girl came and she supplied all ingredients. Sanatana Goswami asked, didn't you think that how did that girl know that you need ingredients? She is Srimati Radharani herself. She came and gave you all the ingredients. But what Sanatana Goswami told after this is very, very instructive. Sanatana Goswami told Rupa Goswami two things. One is, we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Our mood is to serve Radha Krishna, not to take service from Radha Krishna. So you should not repeat this again. Look at the mood. Like if any ordinary person, if he get this type of experience, he will just post videos after videos about it on internet. But what Sanatana Goswami is telling, no, we have done an offense. We are supposed to serve Radharani, not to take service from Radharani. And second thing Sanatana Goswami told Rupa, that Rupa, don't disclose this pastime to ordinary people, because then they will imitate this kind of experiences. They will also fake stories like this. So see, real Raganuga Bhakta, he hides this kind of ecstasies. He hides this kind of experiences. So that is the real Raganuga Bhakta. Now in ISKCON, do we have Raganuga Bhaktas? Yes, Prabhupada is saying we also have that facility. Who will read? Usha Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. First of all, he is trying to bring the devotee to the standard devotional service. Vidhi Marga, then gradually, when he becomes accustomed, then Raga Marga will be revealed. Everyone has got a particular relationship with Krishna in his original constitutional position. That will be revealed gradually as you advance in devotional service in the prescribed rules and regulations as they are directed in the Shastras and by spiritual master. Just like sun becomes visible when the sun rises automatically. You cannot force the sun to, that is not possible. Sun will rise, you just wait.
So we have to be patient, and if we follow the instructions given by spiritual master and the authorized scriptures, then the heart gets pure and we do get the level of Raganuga Bhakti. Prabhupada is promising that. Here is one more quote from Srila Prabhupada's lecture. Shrutidhar Prabhu, please read.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Raganuga, Raga Bhakti is executed following the footprints of the devotees in Vrindavan. That is called Raga Bhakti. Krishna's personal associates, not to become directly Krishna's personal associate, but following the footprints of Krishna's eternal associates, we can come to the stage of Raga Bhakti. That is called Parabhakti. That Parabhakti is required. So this Krishna consciousness movement is gradually developing up to the stage of Raga Bhakti or Parabhakti. Then life is successful.
So Prabhupada has designed this Krishna consciousness movement in such a way that we gradually develop Raga Bhakti. Many times, many times when devotees go to Vrindavan, Mayapur, so many people from outside ISKCON, they confuse devotees, ISKCON devotees, and they preach in a way that Prabhupada didn't give you Raganuga Bhakti and he just give you basics, and if you want to know the higher stuff, come to us. But that's not true. Prabhupada is a pure devotee of Lord, and he arranged ISKCON in such a way that if we follow the process properly, we are going to get to the level of Raganuga Bhakti also. So that was about Raganuga Bhakti. Now we are going above Sadhana Bhakti. So we discussed Sadhana Bhakti. There are two parts. One is Vaidhi Bhakti, which we are discussing all this while. And in the beginning of the class, till now, we have discussed sadhana, Raganuga sadhana bhakti. Now, we are going to the highest level of bhakti, which is love of God. Now, this is in 2 steps. First is Bhava Bhakti, and the topmost is Prema Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti is like starting of Prema Bhakti. Just like when sun rises, you can see some rays of sun. You can't see sun, but some rays of sun. That is Bhava Bhakti. It's a transition state. And then there is Prema Bhakti. So we'll try to understand Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti in a nutshell. Sachi Maharani Mataji, can you read the translation?
When devotional service is executed on the transcendental platform of pure goodness, it is like a sun ray of love for Krishna. At such a time, devotional service causes the heart to be softened by various tastes, and one is then situated in bhava, emotion.
So when one is free from the 3 modes of material nature and completely free from the anarthas, then the devotee is situated in pure goodness. Pure goodness is Vasudeva, Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. Then he start to feel emotions for Krishna. That is bhava. That is bhava bhakti. Now, in material conditioning also, we may have some emotions to Krishna, but they are mixed emotions. But these emotions are pure emotions. And then these emotions get slowly intensified. Kripalu Keshavi Mataji, please read. Please unmute and read.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu. This attachment is very confidentially kept by Krishna and is best only upon pure devotees. Even ordinary devotees cannot have such pure attachment for Krishna.
So this is not an ordinary attachment, but this attachment is very, very intense and very, very condensed. And these emotions, they become more prominent than anything else. Like I was discussing, Mother Yashoda, she seriously thinks that if she will not feed Krishna, Krishna will die. She seriously thinks it. It's not that sometimes she just fakes it. No, she seriously feels it. So these type of intense emotions come at the level of bhava. And this bhava becomes the onset of prema. It's the starting of prema. Just like when sun rises and you see the ray of sun, you don't see sun completely. But when you see the ray of sun, that is bhava. So bhava is like starting of prema. These emotions are starting of love, the fructification of love of God. So that's how we understand this bhava bhakti. Yes, Namrasita Mataji.
Prabhu, I was just thinking that this bhav stage and the prema bhakti stage, this is so intense. I was wondering how that devotee handles that. I mean, this is something
So
I'm not able to express.
this is the next part of the thing. Now, what happens to that devotee when he gets this bhava? How he handles it? So actually, he cannot handle it. So it becomes very difficult for him. And you see, he feels ecstasy. He feels ecstatic symptoms. So on the level of bhava bhakti, one feels ecstatic symptoms. In Sanskrit, they are called Ashta Sattvic Vikar. 8 symptoms of ecstasy. Every day we chant this. Romancha, Kampa, Ashru, Taranga Bhajo. Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. Romancha means hair standing on end. Ashru means tears. Taranga means trembling. Romancha Kampa means trembling. And Taranga means ecstasy. So all these, we see these symptoms in the spiritual master. So this bhava is actually very, very difficult for devotee to hold. So when this bhava becomes very intense in the form of prema, we can see the topmost example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would cry like a madman. He would rub his head in the walls. He would jump in ocean. So it's very difficult to hold because devotee's heart becomes very, very intensely captured by love for Krishna. And therefore he is seen sometimes shedding tears, shivering. How to attain this bhava bhakti? There are two ways, as Prabhupada discussed. Either we do proper sadhana, as discussed in the previous chapters. That is the means to attain bhava bhakti. Or else, if you're lucky enough to get causeless mercy, then also you can get bhava bhakti. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to South India, he embraced many people. They were not having any background of sadhana. But as he embraced them, they got bhava. They started trembling, they started crying, they started chanting in ecstasy. And that's how they got love of Godhead. So as we discussed, this sadhana, they are called sadhana siddha devotees. And mercy, they are called kripa siddha devotees. So these two type of devotees get bhava bhakti through these different channels. Yes, Venudhari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question is how we can differentiate between a sahaja and a person who is getting
Very good question. So that is the next slide. That is the next coming slide. How we distinguish between a sahaja and really who is on bhava platform. So we'll see that. Bharat Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhu, I mean, that you mentioned about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that when he went, when they close, or, when Jagannath get sick, so he goes out around to the next a temple, which I've forgotten the name now.
Alarnath.
Alarnath, correct, yeah. And whereby, where he, the stone melted, how, and have the imprint of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. Am I right?
Yes.
So how is that explained?
See, if the separation is intense, that separation is like fire. Can you imagine if there is volcano? Is it not molten stones, molten earth? In the same way, the separation is so intense, is more severe than fire and volcano. Therefore, in the song, Narottam Das Thakur is saying, Pashane kutibo matha anale pashibo. In Jayanilo Premadan song, Narottam Das Thakur is saying, I will break my head in rock, or I will enter into fire, because I cannot bear this separation. Now, when you go to a place, you go from uncomfortable situation to comfortable situation, right? So that means the fire of separation is more intense than the ordinary fire. Therefore, Narottam is saying, I can enter into this fire, that is fine for me, but I'm not able to handle the fire of separation. So this fire of separation is so intense. Even when Lord Ramchandra, there are places in Hampi, when he was in separation from Sita, the rocks melted. When Lord Ramchandra was shedding tears, from the warm tears of Lord Ramchandra, the rocks melted. So that is the level of separation of Lord for his devotees and devotees for the Lord. So it's very much practical, because even in modern terms, if you have intense heat, then rocks melt. But the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has this fire of separation, is very much possible to melt the rocks. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Now let us see how rare this Bhav Bhakti is. So it's not that anybody who is shedding tears is on the level of Bhav Bhakti, or anyone who is having this hair standing on end. Maybe you see a ghost and you have hair standing on end. That doesn't mean you have Bhav Bhakti. So what are the real symptoms? So elevation to that stage by special mercy of Krishna or his devotee is very rare. The purport is that one should execute devotional service rigidly in the association of devotees, so that there will be certainly in raising oneself to ecstatic promotion. So it's not that one who is not practicing the pure principles of bhakti, he will never be counted in bhava bhakti. Now there are 8 symptoms by which you can recognize a devotee is on level of bhava or not. We will discuss that. Okay, let's read this quote first. Sachidananda Prabhu, please read.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. In connection with some unscrupulous neophytes imitating the above symptoms for cheap adoration, not only Vishwanath Chakravarti but also Srila Rupa Goswami treats them very critically. Sometimes all the above 8 symptoms of ecstasy are imitated by mundane devotees.
So Rupa Goswami has treated this very, very critically. So he wrote down 8 symptoms by which you can check either devotee is really on the level of bhava or not. So we will see these 8 symptoms. Rupa Goswami next describes the characteristics of a person who has actually developed his ecstatic love for Krishna. These characteristics are as follows. You will be surprised to see these symptoms. First is avyartha kalatvam. He never wastes his time. What a quality. He never wastes his time. He will always be engaged in serving Krishna. You will never see a bhava bhakta doing prajalpa. That is not a bhava bhakta. He will never waste his time. Second is shanti, perseverance. He will be determined to serve Krishna. Like Srila Prabhupada is determined all his life to serve Krishna. So many challenges will come in life of a pure devotee, but he will still be continuing his service. Third, virakti, he is detached. You will never find him doing sense gratification. He is detached from sense gratification. Fourth, mana shunyata, pridelessness. He will not have pride. So even though he is very advanced, he will not have pride. Fifth, asha bandha. Although he has no pride and he feels himself fallen and he is very humble, still he has hope against hope to get mercy of Krishna. So a devotee at this level will always cry that I could not do anything to serve Krishna, I am useless, and still by mercy of my spiritual master someday I will get mercy of Krishna. Asha bandha. Sixth, samutkantha, complete eagerness. He's very eager to chant, he's very eager to hear, he's very eager to serve, he's very enthusiastic in any devotional activity. Seventh, nama gane sadaruchi. This is from Nectar of Instruction also. You remember, the pure devotee is very attached to chanting of the holy name. In fact, the consideration of advancement in spiritual life is how much attached one is to chant the holy name. So pure devotee is constantly engaged in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Eighth, asaktis tad gunakhyane. He has addiction to glorify Krishna. So if you meet him anytime, whatever he will see, he will just glorify Krishna. He'll remember Krishna. And ninth, Priti tad vasati sthale. He has attraction to love. He has attraction to live in the holy dham, in the holy places of the Lord. So these are given in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Nectar of Devotion. Very, very important qualities. Please remember them. Please note them. These qualities are also given in your student handbook. They are also given in the book. And with this, we can determine somebody is on level of Bhava Bhakti or not. Actually, just by crying and making show will not work. But somebody should have all these 9 qualities. Then one can understand, okay, he is at level of bhav. And then such devotee cries. Then such devotee, feels separation from Krishna. That is genuine. But without these qualities, it will just be show off. It's just sahajiya. So Venudhari Prabhu, you got answer?
Yes, Prabhuji. Of course.
Yes.
Thank you.
So our acharyas are so intelligent. They know what Venudhari Prabhu will ask. So they wrote 500 years back. These symptoms we have to check. And if somebody is having these qualities, then he can be considered on the level of bhava. Otherwise, he is just doing rati abhas. Rati means attachment, abhas means imitation. Otherwise, he is just doing imitation. But even then, if somebody is fortunate enough to get association of pure devotees, then he can advance in his spiritual life. Shashti Mataji, can you read this quote?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Sometimes it is found that a person actually attached to material enjoyment or salvation has a good fortune to associate with pure devotees while they are engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord. At that time, simply by the association of such pure devotees, the moon-like rays from the heart reflect on him, and by the influence of the pure devotees, he may show some likeness of attachment.
So we see this when pure devotee speaks, or when pure devotee sings, or when you see pure devotee, you may have tears, you may have some emotions for time being. So that is not our power, that is pure devotee's power. Sometimes by chanting holy name, we may feel like that. That is the mercy of our spiritual master. So we should never feel that we have reached that level, but we should always understand that this is by the mercy of a pure devotee that we are getting this experience. By association of pure devotees, attachment for Krishna can be aroused. But if one commits an offense at the lotus feet of a devotee, one can never get that prema. Sorry, I just missed. One's shadow attachment or para attachment can be extinguished. So, same pure devotee, by his mercy, we are getting this experience. If we offend that pure devotee, then that experience is gone. So this is a small understanding about Bhava Bhakti. Now we will have brief understanding about Prema Bhakti, which is the highest. So when this Bhava Bhakti intensifies, when completely devotee is captured by love of God, that is called Prema Bhakti. And that is the highest stage of devotional service. Devadev Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. When that bhav softens the heart completely, becomes endowed with a great feeling of possessiveness in relation to the Lord, and becomes very much condensed and intensified, it is called prema, love of God by learned scholars.
So devotee becomes completely captured by his relationship with Krishna. And that feeling, that emotions become very, very intense. And that is love of God. And that is the time when Krishna reveals himself to the devotee. Till prema, it's very difficult to experience Krishna. But after prema, devotee experiences Krishna. Pratima Mataji, please read. People challenge, show me God. We should show them this slide. We should tell them, yes, you can see God, but you have to reach to the level of prema. So first practice the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 19 chapters, and then you can see God. Yes, please read.
Yes, Prabhuji. He will not expose himself, but if you attain the stage of prema, then you will see him. How you will see? Saidava always, not that for 2 minutes I see and Krishna is no more there. No, not like that. Premanjana Churita Bhakti, Bilosa Nisa Santa Sadaiva Sadaiva means constant, incessantly.
So like that, it's not that you will see Krishna for a minute or two. Constantly that devotee sees Krishna after getting prema. Constant experience, constant association of Krishna to the devotee. That is the stage of prema. Anupama Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna. This pure love can be transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead under two conditions: out of ecstasy and out of causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself.
So now this prema, this love of Godhead, can also be attained by two means. One is through bhava bhakti, which we just studied. When bhava becomes intensified, it becomes prema. And second facility is always there by mercy of Lord. So this facility is always there. If Lord wants, He can directly give prema bhakti also. So therefore we sing every day, prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasha jate. The spiritual master has capacity, being representative of Krishna, to directly give prema bhakti, even to person who may not be qualified. So that is there, but it's very rare. But general course of getting prema bhakti is through bhava bhakti. And how we get bhava bhakti, we already studied by Vedi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga sadhana bhakti. So now, according to this, prema bhakti is also of two types. One is when you get it through Vedi sadhana bhakti, by practice of rules and regulations. So that time, there is conception that Lord is Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is conception that Lord is supreme, like residents of Dwarka. They think Krishna is Supreme Lord. They think Krishna is their prince. So they worship Krishna in awe and reverence. That is also prema. But that is prema with reverence. But there is another prema, which is through Raganuga sadhana, which is called Kevala prema. Kevala means pure love. Now for them, God is not God. It doesn't matter. For residents of Vrindavan, it doesn't matter if Krishna is God or not. They just want to love Krishna. They just want to serve Krishna. That is Kevala prema. So their love for Krishna is not dependent on Krishna being God. That is pure love. For them, Krishna is just their small child of Vrindavan. So that is the highest level of love, which is called Kevala Prema. So you must have heard this term many, many times. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Kevala Bhakti. Kevala Bhakti means pure love for Krishna, which is practiced in Vrindavan. Now, how do we go there? We have studied so many things, but what is the actual stepwise process from Shraddha to Prem? Rupa Goswami has summarized that in this 19th chapter. Vansi Vilasani Mataji, can you read this quote?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Although many different processes for developing love of God, of Godhead, have been explained so far, Srila Rupa Goswami now gives us a general description of how one can best achieve such a high position. The beginning of ecstatic love and of Godhead is basically faith.
So now Rupa Goswami is telling the actual process step by step, how we can get prema. First one is Shraddha, faith. Devotional service starts with faith. We studied this in Nectar of Instruction also. The categorization of different devotees is basis of faith. So as we put faith in the process, we start to associate with the devotees. Without faith, we will not go closer to devotees. So we start faith. And then there is second step, Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha means associating with devotees, serving devotees. Third is Bhajan Kriya. Now in association of devotees, we learn to practice devotional service. Bhajan means service. Kriya means activities. So we learn practical activities, how to chant, how to serve, how to put tilak, how to wear dhoti, etc. Bhajan Kriya. How to do Mangalarti, how to offer bhoga, all these processes, Bhajan Kriya. Then while doing Bhajan Kriya, the next step comes is Anartha Nivritti. Anartha means offenses. Nivritti means cleansing of all offenses. So now heart get cleansed of all the offenses. And once the heart is cleansed, then fifth stage come of Nishtha. Nishtha means determination. Now a devotee is steady in his devotional service. Now his heart is almost cleansed and he comes to the platform of steady devotional service. After practicing that stage of steady devotional service, then he develops affection and attraction to the Lord, Ruchi. This attraction turns into attachment. That is called Asakti. First there is attraction, affection, interest, and these feelings intensify in the form of attachment. That is called Asakti. When this attachment intensifies, it becomes bhava, emotion, which we studied today. And when this emotion intensifies, it becomes love of God, prema. So this is the hierarchy, this is the step-by-step process of development of Krishna consciousness, starting from very basic faith to pure love of God. That's all. This is the complete science of Bhakti Yoga, first 19 chapters, Purva Vibhag, where we study Sadhana Bhakti, two types of Sadhana Bhakti, Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. Then we study Bhav Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. Now details are given in other three sections, which are not in syllabus of Bhakti Sastri, but these only 19 chapters are covered as an introduction to the stages of devotional service. But if you want to study further, more in detail, you can study other chapters, subsequent chapters from chapter number 20. So who will read the final quote? Okay, let me see. Okay, Diya Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The nectar of devotion will teach us how to turn the one switch that will immediately brighten everything everywhere. One who does not know this method is missing the point of life.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nectar of Instruction ki jai. So this was the summary study of Nectar of Devotion. Devotees, if you have any doubt, any question, you can ask. I know today's class, there's so many new terms. It's loaded with lot of terms. But yeah, that's our goal. Bhav Bhakti and Prema Bhakti, that's how we have to practice sincerely and reach to the lotus feet of Krishna. Yes, Kripalu Keshavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So I would like to say a few words. So thank you so much, Prabhu. And the course was very enriching. And, you know, the academic studies you can't compare it to the one we just studied. And I can tell you, I have my degree in religious studies like Islamic, Christianity, and so. But now when I have already done this course, I find it that the other one is nothing else.
They don't
Yeah,
have any
I
details
feel
like
like that.
this.
I feel like that. So now I come to understand that I am getting the real knowledge now to continue further.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Prabhu, for the course. Was very enriching.
Srila Prabhupada used to say, when others don't have any idea about God, Prabhupada said, I can tell you what is his name, I can tell you where he lives, I can tell you how he looks like, and I can even give you his phone number. That's what Prabhupada said. So his books are having so many details. And see, purpose of this course, as I told in the beginning, in the orientation class, is not to cover line by line, books. That's very difficult. But the purpose of this course is, if you develop some interest to read Srila Prabhupada books, the purpose of this course is successful. That's what I said in the orientation class. So I wish in future sometime we can read line by line, like we are doing for Srimad Bhagavatam now. Every day, half an hour, we read in India. All devotees come together on Zoom and we read Srimad Bhagavatam line by line. So we are on third canto now. Of course, that is in Hindi. But I'm saying, if you can make some group like that among yourselves and read these books line by line, now you have the overview idea. And if you read now, the experience will be different. I'm sure you must have read these books before. But once you have this overview now, when you read it now, you know the link. Like Bhagavad Gita chapters, you have some links. Now, Nectar of Instruction, you have idea. Ishopnishad, you have idea. Nectar of Devotion, you have some idea. So now if you read them line by line, if possible coming together, or if not possible alone, you will have a different experience. So that is the whole purpose of this course. And it definitely helps to develop attachment to reading Srila Prabhupada books. Yeah. Anupama Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, first of all, thank you so very much. We will miss your classes. We will miss your association a lot. I'm thinking what will I will do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Prabhuji, my question is that, like, how, when, and means how we can utilize these gems which you have told in Bhakti Sastri, means the best way to utilize all the knowledge which we have gained through this Bhakti Sastri course.
You know what is the best way? You all can start one study circle. You take 4 or 5 devotees in your context and you start one study circle. So you start with maybe Ishopnishad, read this small book, then you may read Nectar of Instruction, then you can read Bhagavad Gita, and then you can read Nectar of Devotion. So that is the best way to utilize this, because if you teach others, you learn more. And if you have some study circle, that will force you to study daily. Otherwise, we have so many responsibilities and so many, so many random things coming, we may miss to read every day. So if you can make little study circles, 4 or 5 devotees, 10 devotees, 15 devotees, whatever you can do, you can come on Zoom, maybe half an hour every day. And that way you can study these books line by line. That will be the best way. And you will learn more by, sharing with others. That can be done.
Okay, Prabhuji, and one more thing, what will be the timings for the exam on Sunday, like 13?
So yes, Giriraj Prabhu sent me 11 a.m. Sunday at his place.
And who will check the answer sheets?
So the answer sheets, they will be scanned and sent to Ujjain, and then the invigilator here, they will check it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much.
Namrasita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you so much for such systemized, structured course. It actually, I was so much bewildered before I started this course because I had read Bhagavad Gita twice, but I was not able to connect anything, shloka to shloka. What Krishna is saying this, what Krishna is saying in that. In this chapter, he's saying this, and suddenly he's saying this. And you were so systemized. All my questions were answered as I wanted, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
I didn't
So,
structure this course. Our devotees, their team of devotees, they've structured it. Actually, as I discussed in the beginning, His Holiness Bhakti Charuswami Guru Maharaj, he himself gave a lot of time and he trained our Krishna Balaram Prabhu, Krishna Archan Prabhu in the beginning. This was in 2008-9. And that time the structure was done. And then there were so many teachers. Bhakti Prem Maharaj also taught many times this course. Now he doesn't teach that much. But then so many other teachers taught. And I'm just following the same pattern. So I didn't design actually. They're all, I'm just following their course.
but yes, Prabhu, but it was very nice, Prabhu. It was nice experience, and so patiently you gave answers, and so nicely you. Every session was so much. Matlab, it has also raised the consciousness actually, some amount, not that much, but some amount. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Haribol, Amar Nitai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you for such a wonderful sessions. Those were so enlightening, and it has developed a taste to read Srila Prabhupada books. I had no taste. Now I think that I have got the taste, and I'll start reading Srila Prabhupada books. And second thing, I would like to share about Nishtha Mataji. Nishtha Mataji asked the same question yesterday, Giraj Prabhu. Prabhuji, I have left the job for Bhakti Sastri, and now Bhakti Shastri is over. What should I do? Giraj Prabhu said that you can start preaching. Today, Swarup Prabhu and Nishtha Mataji, they on the outreach program. There was some Bhagavatam Katha going on. They went there, they distributed the pamphlets there, and they'll start the classes at their house also.
Wow.
Nishtha Mataji and
yes. So one purpose of this course is to make preachers. This also we discussed. So we learn how to present philosophy, and that will be the success if we all can start little study circles and sanghas and programs. That will be the success of our study, and we learn better that way. So it's a very good move, Nishtha Mataji. Hare Krishna. Varat Krishna Prabhu. Varat Krishna Prabhu is the senior most member of this group, and he was very patiently hearing, but he has many more realizations to share. I wish we can have one course by him. We can study under him. He has so many realizations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think to me, I mean, my experience in preaching is that, we try to devise many ways. But today itself, this maybe around two hours back, there was one Muslim lady who was at my place. And, we had some talk and some chat because, and she had some question. And whereby, she thinks that she can connect me to some people, who are Muslim also, because it seems, to her that maybe I can offer some, what you can say, some ideas, from what this, the Vedic knowledge or the Bhagavad Gita or script, our books gave us. And chiefly, I was just telling her about, the analogies, because the analogies about death, and she was shocked, about the cat, and she could not, believe. She had difficulty handling this, to be honest with you. So I think our acharyas, because these studies are so elevated, and without these analogies in our day-to-day life, it's very, very difficult to convey concepts, because they're all concepts. and then, in so many terms, I mean, the whole lot is all about, how it is connected one to the other, I mean, as they say, I mean, to the basic things about spirituality, which we had learned here, that to control our senses and our mind, and these two words, senses and mind, and control over it, this is the whole agenda of Srila Prabhupada, which we have been blessed with, that without his, his input, without his translation, his purport, it would have been very difficult. And what I find in the world today is that, ISKCON, we should have this confidence that we have the best, that we should not be proud of it. We should be humble to be able to share this with others, and that preaching should not be done, in a big way that, hundreds of people, etc., that it can be on a one-to-one basis, but give real attention. You get somebody, half an hour you spend with that person and try to connect with the person and at his or her level. I think there's a lot that we can share and can make a lot of difference in, number one, in our own preaching ability, that, because we have to improve our ability to preach, and that is only when we start preaching. And without preaching, to me, okay, the study group is good for us to at least, compare notes and feel comfortable about it before you go out. That is important, about a certain topic. And maybe, then when we are preaching, that we stay fixed on certain things which we try to, to grasp and clearly understand, and sort of be ready to answer any question on that very topic. And, I mean, and today with the electronic media, that all this are available online, a lot of information are available online. So for me, I think, I mean, this, and also I feel so pleased, because my understanding about to be dear to Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, and I find, in the Nectar of Devotion, how preaching is the most important thing. And I think this is what Guru Maharaj always, he stressed on this, to preach, to preach, to preach. And that is a realization I got, by going through this course more. And I think I had some ideas that what I'm doing is right. I think through this course, many things got confirmed. So I am really thankful to you, Prabhu. And again, I join the others in really congratulating you for, for taking this course and be very patient with all our questions. Maybe some of them stupid, but I think this is the way to clarify. And thank you very much, Prabhu. I really feel, honored, to be in this course with everybody else. And I also have this issue now about this association, because this course was giving me at least, 3 weeks, three days of association with devotees from across the world. And I will miss this, no doubt. But I think maybe there are other courses we could, would like to enlist on, just to at least get the association, maybe not for marks or for, certificate. But I think this association is very important. Thank you very much. And please, bless me, Prabhu. And I need the blessing of everybody on this course, because, for me to continue. And thank you. Hare Krishna to everybody, who has been part and parcel of this whole experience. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Varat Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Arun Charan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, okay. Please accept my humble obeisances. So, like everybody is presenting the gratitudes to you, but I would like to begin by saying something different. Firstly, that before enrolling into this course of Bhakti Sastri, I was already I had an orientation introduction to Bhakti Sastri with some another group. And in that group, I was trying to settle out, but it so happened that I got very uncomfortable with the introduction style itself. And that was the first and the last day that I joined that group. But when I joined our group, I got on the very first day, it was very understandable that it will be a very comfortably going course because the preacher and the teacher is going to be very nice. And I'm very happy that I did this course with you because you really took the course at a very good pace and you really answered all our questions. And it was not like it's going very casually or it's going very strictly. It was at a medium style. And that is what we could reciprocate more into because the other devotee who I was speaking to from the other group, no, not from the Ujjain group, from another place, they were saying that the teacher is so strict that we are mostly checking out all other things rather than the course. With them, we are more focused upon how we are sitting and speaking and all, but we are not so much focused into listening what the preacher is speaking. But this was not so in our course. So this is the one thing I like. And even amongst the other groups of Ujjain which are going on for the same course, I talked to them also, and they are also saying that the teachers are so strict that we are less focusing upon the main subject matter and more focusing about the teacher and what else he is saying. So this was like one of the main challenges that they were facing. But in our course, it was not so like that. So I would thank you for this aspect that you took the course in such a way that it got very easy for us to follow. And before I conclude, I would just like to ask forgiveness for offenses, if any, that are committed at your feet.
Thank you, Arun Prabhu. There is no question of offense. Thank you so much. Amal Arjun Prabhu, he is also a great scholar, although he is attending the class. But I always feel shy that he should give the course. But he is so
No,
humbly
Prabhuji,
attending.
not at all. No, sir, no, Prabhuji, not at all, not at all. Prabhuji, like today I heard your Bhagavatam class. The kind of bliss and satisfaction which I have been getting over the last so many weeks now. I can't really express in simple words. Thank you, maybe very simple to say, but from the bottom of my heart, I have planned my day in such a way that I don't miss this class unless and until I've been traveling or not well. Other than that, this has been a part and parcel of my important schedule, and everybody knows that on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nobody should disturb me. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your time and for your efforts and for giving us this wonderful course. Now, as I told you, I have taken some time to give the exams and all that. I will, because of my office pressures, it's been a bit of a challenge for me. But having said that, hopefully before the next few months, I will complete everything. And thank you once again, and hope to meet you soon in Ujjain.
When I come to Kuwait, I can take your exam there.
Yes, Prabhuji. We are eagerly awaiting your visit. Please, one of the days it's reserved at our place. I've already informed Presh Prakash Prabhuji. By default, whenever you are here, you should please come and bless us, and it will be great to have your association. Your simple way of speaking, your smile, your kindness. I think this is something that every preacher has to imbibe. Like what Arun Prabhuji mentioned, sometimes it becomes very difficult when the teacher becomes very difficult. But in your case, you have given us so much of effective knowledge in a simple way with a smile. I think that makes a big difference, Prabhuji, and I think everybody will agree with me. So thank you very much, and we are so indebted and grateful to you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandat pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Nishtha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful classes. Words are not enough to express my gratitude, Prabhuji. Although I was not at all qualified, but still got the opportunity to do the course and learn from you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Venudhari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot for the very nice course. We learned a lot. It was very enriching. But we don't, everybody is saying that they will miss you, but we don't, I personally don't want to miss you, Prabhuji. And we don't want to have the fire of separation too hot. so I'm just suggesting, I don't know if you can have a course for the Mauritian devotees to keep the association, to get your association. I don't know. It's just a suggestion. Maybe many of the Mauritian devotees may be sharing the same opinion with me. So I don't know.
Prabhu, I agree. I agree. Me too.
I don't know for the other devotees from India, the Indian devotees, and from South Africa. But I don't know if you can get any course. Maybe in Bhakti Vaibhav, I don't know. But before Bhakti Vaibhav, a prerequisite of Bhakti Vaibhav, then we can get the taste for Bhakti Vaibhav also. But surely we don't have the stress of exam and everything. The CBA, OBA, it was very stressful. We have the stress is also, he's still here. But I don't know, Prabhu, we are just requesting you if you can get any prerequisite course or any course that will be, I know your schedule is very busy, you have a very busy schedule, but it's our request, and we want to see you very soon in Mauritius. Then we can plan it well. You will not so you will not get the chance to escape it. Of course, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Prabhuji, you revise the course again.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, can we start Bhagavatam in English? Can we start one group English Bhagavatam? So all of us will
Yes,
join.
we can start. Actually, that's a very good idea. We can start an English group to study Srimad Bhagavatam, but I'll not trouble you with OPA and CBA. We can just read it first, and then
thanks a lot, Prabhuji.
And eventually we can take from there. Yeah, we can start a reading session. That will be nice.
Yes. And Prabhuji, please plan some get together for all of us so that we can meet other Mauritian devotees also.
Yes.
So
So
very nice.
we all can go there, or all Mauritian devotees should come to Ujjain. Then we can have a nice get
We are
together.
coming, Prabhu. We are coming.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Kripalu Keshari Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. I am totally agree with Prabhu Venudhari. Yes, I wanted to say yes for the further course and your association also. Thank you so much.
We can do a study circle for Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll plan out. Maybe
Prabhu,
after September we can start.
Yeah.
With the same group, Prabhuji. With the same group.
With the same group, yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I hope this WhatsApp group is not dissolving. Hope it
No,
remains.
we will keep it as it is. We'll change the name though, so you don't have nightmare of Bhakti Sastri, but we can change the name and we can keep the group.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one small doubt. All the videos of the classes that will remain intact, right? For our reference.
Yes, the
Okay,
videos are there. And
okay, wonderful.
I am also there. If any time, anywhere you need me, I'm there. You can WhatsApp
Thank
me.
you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, all devotees. You were very enthusiastic. I have given some courses before, like Bhakti Sastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, but many times the devotees are very, very silent and hardly there are any questions. And then I have to take out names and ask them. But this batch was very lively. Devotees were participating, they were reading, they were asking questions. So that makes us more enthusiastic. And the whole spirit was nice. Generally, it is seen that when the course starts, a lot of enthusiasm, and then eventually devotees drop. And by the end, very less devotees reach. But this batch was a success because till last, most of you are still there tolerating me. So that is a good sign. And the course was very lively for me. I got chance to study with you. So thank you so much. Yashodanandan Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for your class. It was really wonderful, very enlightening, and it was like I got the opportunity to learn so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for
Shivanandan
that.
Prabhu. And yeah, I'm very happy to serve you. Bharat Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu, what I I mean, I have gone through schooling just like many of all of us here, university, post graduation, seminars, name it. But there is one thing about spirituality, what we are doing here, that as we are getting into this course, we understand ourselves better because it is directly applicable to each one of us. So this is the beauty of it. And I have never, through all my studies which I've done, maybe my postgraduate was because I was at the job and trying to get something connected. So, it was meaningful. But this one is such a meaningful thing because we are not just reading things to remember, to do OBA or to, a closed book assessment, etc. But I think it also enrich ourselves. We enrich ourselves and rise. I think what we were before the course and what we are now, I think everybody must have got this feeling. Well, I'm a bit less stupid now, maybe not intelligent, but I'm a bit less stupid, okay? Because we are so stupid. Yeah. So this is something very, very practical, and it's a realization which I have that, and I feel very enthused, all along. And as I say, when Krishna consciousness offers us the best adventure in the world, and if you look life from an adventurous point of view, then you are in the right place. And I have also been trying to question about this adventure of life, that different age group, all want adventure. Everybody wants adventure, but they don't know that Krishna consciousness can be an adventure also. And it is to me the adventure, because I'm an adventurous person by nature. But I think this Krishna consciousness has given me so much of, you can say, space to do, and there's still so much of space to explore in this adventure. And if we, because I think that the you can say the conclusion, or you can say the conclusive teachings of spirituality or through Krishna consciousness is to enlist us in this adventure. So I think if we look at life, because we really don't know, because Krishna tells us, you just do your duty, the result it is his. So when we have this faith that Krishna is there and he will give us the best and he will help us to take that. So I think we should really get that, get into that mood of adventure. I don't know whether, because people like adventure, I know, but maybe some people are scared. But this one, there's no fear of taking this adventure. Thank you, Prabhu. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
and I wish I'm sharing this with you to take Krishna consciousness as an adventure, and your life will be completely transformed, and you will see every day as an opportunity to preach, an opportunity to connect and an opportunity to make this world better and to make ourselves better. Thank you very much again. Sorry to say this, but take your time. But I think this is a you can say platform where we can share, and we have we know each other to quite an extent now. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I'm trying to impose my a bit on your time. Sorry.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Sachi Maharani Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I would also like to thank you because I never thought of doing such deep study of Shastra, and you made us so comfortable, especially me, because I had always this fear of I read Srila Prabhupada books, but I have fear of these going into so much deep or learning shlokas. So because of you, I was very, very comfortable, and it was very easy for me. Like in our Sunday program also, like Prabhu shared, there are other devotees, those are doing Bhakti Sastri, and they were sharing their um, views about it. So like I used to tell them that no, our course is not like this and our teacher is not like this. Also, Prabhuji, Sundar Netai Prabhu, he is also very helpful. Like in one shloka test, I was in another slot 2, and I got less marks. I did well, but I don't know, the teacher was someone else and he gave me less marks. So I messaged to Prabhu that please check, Prabhu. I think that I should get more marks. So he increased my marks after seeing the recording. So yes, Prabhuji, it was a very nice course, and I have learned a lot of things also from these books, but also from you, the way you teach and understands the about everyone, what we like if we are not if our video is switched off, so I think that you understand the reason behind it, and it was very, very easy and smooth going for me. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Ramful Shyam Prabhu.
Actually, first of all, I would like to thank you very much for everything you've done during this course. And especially for me, it was really challenging following this course because I'm a student, and there were many times I thought about quitting due to it clashing with my studies, but so far I'm not even a bit I'm not regretting that I kept on going. And I would like to thank you very much for making this course possible for me.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ramful Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Saurabh Prabhu. Saurabh Prabhu. We were missing your questions today.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you, Saurabh.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I think during the course, I realized that when I was when I was learning the shlokas, so the shloka learning itself, that experience gave me a lot of revelation. Because when I was always, I was always repeating the shloka and trying to learn it by understanding the words. Each word is a jewel in itself. And I was saying to myself one day that, people go for, people want big fortune or money to become. This is a big fortune if we can read Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Right. And because we are, I am personally, I'm personally not that up to that level, but I have realized that like even every time Maya is, I'm under the Maya, but even if for once, if I'm able to read and study each sloka of Bhagavad Gita in my life and understand it properly, probably I will have some kind of some kind of understanding and some kind of my I can at least move 1 inch in my life. So that is the one, and the learning of slokas, it gives me a lot of understanding about, because every time I read, every time I remember the sloka in my mind, then again it gives me some relief. So thank you to you because of that, and thank you to Amarnatai Prabhu also, because of Amarnatai Prabhu we are today we did our first prachar for our study for our classes, and we didn't have the plan in the morning, but Amarnatai Prabhu pushed and pamphlets were printed in the afternoon, everything being taken care by Amarnatai Prabhu, and then and with the Krishna's mercy, we were able to distribute pamphlets, and now we are getting calls for them. So thank you to Amarnatai Prabhu for that. So this is thank you.
Thank you,
And
Sora Prabhu. Yeah.
and thank you to Dhiraj too, because he's the main for us. He's the main source of inspiration also, and main source of he's our Shiksha Guru. So we always look up to him. Because of him, we all were able to, everyone in our Sangha has actually started classes. So because of him, thank you to Dhiraj Prabhu also. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Haribol. Shinjay Prabhu, your closing statement. Because of you, we did this course. Shinjay Prabhu actually initiated this idea of having the course. Then he arranged, he spoke to Bhakti Prem Maharaj, he arranged everything.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Krishna Kishore Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam to all the students, all the devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I think is an idea generated, in the mind of Venudhari Prabhu, and he pushed me to coordinate all these things. And it was a wonderful experience, giving such a crash course of 1 year, more than 1 year, in only 6 months. All glories to you, to your service. You have been very dedicated, so constant, and I have been, getting feedbacks from the devotees here, and one or two devotees just asked me the link to the classes what is being recorded. Today itself, one lady devotee, she was telling me she was amazed because she's following Bhakti Sastri from different teachers in Mauritius, and she's amazed. I'm not glorifying you, but I'm just telling you an apple is an apple. You are so straightforward, down to earth. The example you take is practical examples, and it's very clear. Your all the things are very clear, and it gets well to them. And she's also aspiring. Maybe she was asking me if, even though she has already taken Bhakti Sastri, she wants to join another group. I don't know. Just think about it, getting another group. And I don't know whether these students will have the postgraduate of Bhakti Vaibhav, or they want to take, some rest, because the train is going. If you take rest, then you take rest forever, and you hit the iron when it is hot. So maybe you can take this that's to Bhakti Vaibhav level. I will also like to join then. And thank you for what you did. Even though you were traveling and you were keeping in the pace with the class, I was remembering like Prabhupada, wherever he was translating Srila Prabhupada. He was translating Bhagavatam, his books, wherever he are. So wherever you were keeping pace and having the your class. Thank you, all glories to you, all glories to Guru Maharaj. for setting this institute over there. And it's very inspirational to us, even though the level you have taken, the level of class. And I have been getting feedback, like I said to you, through the from the devotees following your class and from outside. I shared your link, and purposely I gave one or two just to follow your class, even they have not enrolled. Just to get the feedback. What it says when you're cooking rice, testing 1 grain of rice is good enough to know whether the rice has been cooked. So I've just been having feedback whether you're doing well or not. It was fantastic. And it will be great having your association in Mauritius. We feel very privileged to have you, our guest speaker for Janmashtami, and we are arranging for the exam this Sunday. So this Sunday also, devotees, please be on time. Let's come over there by 10, and we will wrap it up in 1 hour. I think the exam is for 1 hour. And then we'll have the graduation ceremony on the 9th. I think we have planning for the 9th. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the fantastic job and fantastic service you're doing. And please continue doing that. That's from me, Hare Krishna. And I'll request you, if for once again you have the control, can you unmute everyone?
Yes.
Please
I
do
can
so.
request, so all have to unmute themselves. I'll send the request.
Yeah. So everyone is unmuted. So just there's Amara Nitai Prabhu and Aja Moksha Rupi and everyone. So just to say in a Vaishnava way, to say thank you, we'll request everyone to say Hari Bol 3 times to Krishna Kishore Prabhu and Sundar Nitai Prabhu for wonderfully conducting the course. Hari Bol!
जय जय कृष्ण प्रभुपाद की जय कृष्ण कृष्ण प्रभु जी की जय
Krishna Kishore
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Sundar
Thank you
Nitai
very
Prabhu ki
much.
jai.
Jai.
Bhakti Sastri ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to all the devotees attending the course.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
I can see happiness of ending the course so that you don't have to get in trouble. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Whatever I have received in my life is simply the mercy of my spiritual master. So all glories to him, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Jai.
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki
Thank you,
jai.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
Advaita Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Nitai
Hare
Gaur
Krishna.
Premanande. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare Bol.